Hi, this is Suzette, and I'm here for Cloudy Sky today on YouTube. Today, I am going to talk about scam phone calls or phishing. Now, I saw this article. It's on ZDNet, and I will put the links of any articles and sources so that you can, read the whole article yourself, where the fraudsters employ Amazon phishing attacks in fake order scams. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, what they did was, in the article, they sent an email to a person letting them know that their order of such and such, if this is incorrect, to please call this number. So phishing, you must be asking, because that's what the article title says, is a telephone scam. Pretty much, it's not anything new, but it's a telephone scam. The whole idea is that they get you on the phone and they get your information. Now, they can directly call you. In this article's case, they sent an email and have you call them. You could also get mail, and I'll talk about that later, telling you to call them too. Now, in this one, it's very similar to phishing. And in phishing, what they do, I got a phishing one earlier this year, and I talked about it a little bit in an article I did it for my blog, where I got one from eBay, not Amazon, where it tells me, I have this order, if this is not correct, to go to this website. Well, I didn't click on the link. I was doing something where I was looking for certain examples. My spam actually caught this, but they had eBay colors. It looks like actually it is the eBay logo, you know, and they want me to click on the link if the order was incorrect, or if I want to talk about it. No, that is phishing, because they're sending me to a website. The difference with the article is that they're telling you to call, and then once you call, they ask you for your name, the order number. It sounds very authentic so far, and then they ask for your credit card information. And according to the article, once they get your credit card information, then they hang up and block you, so you can't even call back, and then you have to call your bank and take care of stuff. Now, vision can also come by snail mail. Now, I'm going to put it down below from my blog, but I had gotten this mail that's supposed to be from Experian, that, data breach, and I need to call the number or go on this site. So they did both. They did both the phishing, where they were either sending me to the site, which when I looked on the site, it wasn't an Experian site, and they wanted me to call. I didn't call, because I went to the Experian, the real Experian site, not the one in the letter, and looked up their number, and the number was completely different. I even reversed the phone number, because you can do a reverse phone number Google search, and I did that, and it didn't come up. So that's something you can do if you're not sure about the mail or email that you receive, to check it against the official company website for the telephone number. You can also take the number, and if it's reputable, it's going to come back to the company. This came back to nothing, so therefore it's not the company. So that's a tip that you can do. Now, how prevalent are these phishing scams or phishing? We're just going to lump them together, but I just wanted to talk about telephone scams in particular. Now, Statista, and I will also link this down below, shows that phishing scams are the most popular types. And this was reported to the U.S. Internet Crime Complaint Center, that phishing and similar fraud was the most common type of cyber crime. Next after that was identity theft. Scary stuff. Now, what can you do? Well, I gave you a couple tips, but I also looked up from the experts, and Norton, people know about that, is a reputable source. So I looked them up, and they gave some tips in recognizing a phishing scam. Now, I understand where they get their tips from, but it needs to be expanded. Like the first one, the caller claims to represent the IRS, Medicare, or the Social Security Administrator. That's a little bit on the old side, because I remember a couple years ago I got one from the something department of something, and I was like, what the heck? They didn't even get the department right. Some Sarah Wilson person with a very, thick accent. You could tell that it wasn't somebody overseas, one of those overseas call centers. But it was very interesting that they were trying to intimidate me, which is the next thing, frantic sense of urgency. Like, if you don't do this, the police is going to come for you, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, well, if the police has to come for me, they have to come for me. But IRS knows where I'm at. So this don't make no sense. And of course, they're asking for information. Now, the reason why I said it needs to be expanded, as I've shown today, Experian, eBay, Amazon, it has gone beyond governmental agencies. They're now imitating any reputable brand, you know, anywhere they can get information from you so that they can further their scam or steal your identity, whatever it is they're up to. Now, the next one, frantic sense of urgency. Yeah, they like to tap into that fear. And, well, that's just, even when I'm taking classes and I see something about social engineering, urgency or trying to say, consensus or something, they use one of those techniques. I mean, it's surprising how much psychology they use, and this is what they use it for. Now, in the same article, these are some, okay tips. For example, National Do Not Call list. Yeah, I'm on it, but I still get phone calls. Unfortunately, these scammers can spoof phone numbers. And what I mean by spoof is you get a call that's from even yourself. You're like, how is it I'm calling myself? I'm sitting right here. That's because they spoof the phone number. They're using the voice over IP, and they change the number that it's supposed to be coming from. And they have the technology to do that. It's not that expensive either, I think. And, they just pretend to be from wherever. So if your bank calls you and tells you, oh, well, they see that they have the trouble, because banks do call. I got a call a couple years ago, before this pandemic, and I was traveling. And I didn't tell my bank I was traveling. So they call because, they see these strange charges in, a strange place. And I'm like, uh-huh, uh-huh. I was very hesitant. And I was like, well, can I call you back? And I hung up and I called them because I know numbers can be spoofed. And I was like, I don't know if this is the bank calling me. And, it's good to know that your bank is never going to ask for your information. And if you get a call from the bank and they're like, oh, we see this and this, and we need to send you this code, that's probably the defrauders. Maybe they already have your login and they're trying to reset your password. So if you give them that SMS code that they just sent to you, when they're trying to and they're pretending to be the bank, yeah, they'll probably can take over your account. So you got to be very careful with these spoof numbers. This is a good one because I heard about this. I didn't look up any articles on this, but don't agree with anything. Don't say yes, because then they could use that for something else. And I probably shouldn't have said that here. But and don't press buttons for prompts where it says press one, because my car is over 10 years old and I'm still getting for car warranty. Seriously? Yeah. I'm not pressing any one or two or whatever. And I would say any callback numbers that are given, you can go to the reputable website, or you can use reverse phone numbers, which should lead you to the reputable website. So how do you protect yourself from phishing? I like this. You want to verify the caller's identity. And like I told you, you'll have that reverse phone lookup, or you go to the company website. So, I mean, this pretty much, and oh yeah, here's a little bit more you can look at. So, you don't want to give your information to a scammer. So just be very careful of people cold calling you, saying they're from wherever, even if the phone number looks familiar. You may want to tell them, yeah, I need to call you back, and hang up and then call the number that you know. Second one, if you get an email same thing. Check the number they're directing you to call. And you also probably should call your bank or whoever and let them know about this scam that's going around so that they could put up a thing on their webpage. Even though I'm not an experienced customer, I try to reach out to them and say, hey, I got this letter that's saying it's from you, blah, blah, blah. And, I sent them a note with it. So, they never answer me back, but still, if it's your bank, they probably will look into it. So these are my tips. I hope you enjoyed our little chat talking about telephone scams and you can apply it to your life. And if you have any tips that you want to share with me, please leave it in the comments below. I hope you like this video and I hope you subscribe. See you next time.